Fly fishing is it should be an unbelievably simple thing. You need a rod, bit of carbon, bit of bamboo. You need 2 bits of line, fly line, and a bit of tippet, and something on the end, a fly. In fact, nowadays you don't even need a reel. On some, I have, but in some cases they don't even use reels anymore, just 1 bit of line. So it's very simple. A rod, bit of line, 2 bits of line and a hook. So unfortunately it's been taken over, the fly fishing industry, the tackle industry, the clothing industry, and it's been, I've always described it as an opening of wallets with a closing of minds. But there you go, it's all business, I know it is. And some of the people that turn up to fish with me, not here, but certainly day rods down at Nurseland, look like they just stepped out of some sort of brochure or catalogue. And I quickly learned that just because somebody looked like they knew what they were doing and they had all the right gear, they didn't necessarily have the idea. All the gear, no idea. And we used to call them tackle tarts. And it was all part of the game, all part of the fun, an important part of the industry. I completely get that. Now, when I first started, it was very different, as all the old people say. But I was at Martyworthy with Ron Holloway. It would have been late 80s, and I had a very young family and no money, but I saved up £100. And after lessons with Ron and fishing at Martyworthy with Ron, he said it was time for me to get my own rod. I was very excited, and I had £100. And we went to the Rod Box, which is outskirts of Winchester. It's a very famous tackle shop, and it used to be run by a wonderful, wonderful man called Scrappy Hayes, who I believe was the colonel, and his son actually ran it at the time, Ian, and I now know his grandsons. A wonderful family, a wonderful fly fishing family, and the Rod Box was a super place. We went into the Rod Box, and I was served by another old boy that I became very friends with, David Coppock, who was an admiral, who was another, shall we say, colourful character. Anyway, it was all a setup, which I didn't realise at the time, but I went in there, we picked up a rod, or Ron did. Yeah, this will do. A reel, don't spend too much on a reel, it's just a line carrier, fly line, roll a tippet, a couple of leaders, a priest, a pair of nippers, a selection of dry fly, and that was it. He said, that's pretty much all we need. Went up to the counter. It was so exciting. Put all my stuff on the counter. David Coppock tapped. He had a big old sort of a one of those, oh my God, I don't know what they're called now, but tapped and the price of the stuff came up. Ding, 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 ding. And he went through my stuff. Ding, ding. I had £100 curled up in my pocket, don't forget. And the final tap of the cash register, and up binged £100. 100.00. Oh, it's quite amazing. And sure enough, I pulled out my £100 and I put a big pile of notes on the counter, and he went through counted it all up, £100. Thank you very much. And then he said, you'll undoubtedly be going down the Chestnut Horse after this with Mr. Holloway, and that was Ron's office, the Chestnut Horse. He said, so I think you'll probably need, and he took a £10 note off the top of the pile and gave it back to me, and he said, there you go. He said, that's for your lunch. It was just the nicest thing. And I often say to people, I've still got all that, I've got that rod, probably don't use it much now, but I've still got it all, and I tell people that it cost me all my all these tackle tarts that now spend 500 quid on a jacket and 1,000 quid on a rod. I say my gear cost me 90 quid plus 6 pints of and the chestnut horse.